Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So today we got a great show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So look, a lot has happened over this weekend. Okay, a lot has happened over this weekend, and I've just been kind of sitting back and just observing things, collecting my thoughts, because I knew I wanted to have something to say today. I didn't know, and specifically when I woke up this morning, I didn't know the specific topics that I wanted to talk about, but as the day went on, I started to kind of formulate these topics. And I knew I wanted to react to some of the things that was being said by some of the people in the Lebron camp. And I want to give credit where credit is due. I saw this video topic brought up by Too Raw for TV. Make sure y'all check him out. And he was talking about it, right? And he was essentially reacting to some comments that Kendrick Perkins, Shannon Fry, I forgot the other guy on the panel that was there. Was it Kendrick Perkins, Shannon Fry, and somebody else? I can't remember the third guy. But essentially what these guys were saying was that the way fans glorify and idolize Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant is not the way that they do LeBron. That those guys had dirt on them too, but no one ever highlighted it, right? All they did was talk about their greatness. Gilbert Arenas said on ESPN the other day, when you talk about Jordan, it brings a smile to your face. When you talk about Kobe, you think this, you think that. And they're basically saying that all people are doing is hating on LeBron James. He even brought up the fact that LeBron didn't want to compete in the All-Star weekend, the slam dunk contest. He's like, the guy's competing in the Olympics. And Too Raw for TV brought up a good point. He was like, yeah, because the Olympics is every summer, right? The Olympics is every summer. It's not something that happens once every 4 years, right? So he was bringing up these points, and I'm sitting back and I'm listening to these guys. And they're basically saying that no one covered the dark side of Jordan and Kobe's careers, but they're doing it to LeBron. Like, woe is LeBron. They're all after LeBron, and they never did this to Kobe Bryant. They never did this to Michael Jordan, but it's just LeBron, right? LeBron got all of his foot soldiers out here doing his bidding. And I sat back and I listened and I listened and I listened and I listened. I then said to myself, I said, you know what? Let's do a little bit of investigative journalism this morning. And let's see what these guys are saying is true. And as it turns out, after doing some quick research, these guys, what they're saying is just a bunch of crock. Just a bunch of crock. They were saying that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant were not scrutinized the way LeBron was. But it's a total lie. And I got the receipts just to prove to you that these guys are just a bunch of flagrant lying ass, you know what. That's all they do. They sit up there and lie. And they act like as if they're the only ones that have access to history. It's like they're the only ones that have access. No, all of us don't. They're the only ones that do. Right? The truth of the matter is Jordan and Kobe were heavily scrutinized. Heavily scrutinized. And I got the receipts for you. Let's start with Michael Jordan. Let's start with the conspiracies surrounding the passing of his father and some of the speculation surrounding Michael Jordan's first retirement in the NBA. What we would like to do, we would like to play a little bit of sound from a Michael Francis, from a Mafia member, made man, interview that he had on Vlad TV 5 years ago. A video that got, by the way, 2.2 million views, right? And in this particular segment, they're talking about the conspiracy surrounding Michael Jordan's father's passing and whether or not it had anything to do with gambling. And what were the real reasons that Jordan stepped away from the game. For those of you who didn't hear what he had to say, take a listen to what he had to say there. We're going to come back. And by the way, we just getting started. You don't want to miss where we're going with this show. Take a listen to him here.
Well, you spoke on the Michael Jordan situation.
Yeah.
How involved were you, in terms of I'm not going to say your involvement, but how much did you know about that whole situation? Because Jordan himself was a serious gambler.
Yes.
You actually referred to him as a degenerate gambler.
He's a big gambler. Big. I mean, Michael gambles on everything from what my experiences, what I was told, and people that know him, yes.
Okay. Did you personally know him at all or no?
I met him. I met him actually at an NBA deal that we had, an event, yeah.
Okay. But he never gambled with you?
With me, no.
Okay. So he had this serious gambling problem, and then his father gets murdered. And there was always speculation if one had something to do with the other. From what you know.
Again, I don't have firsthand knowledge of this, but being that I was working with the NBA at that time, I was told two things. One, that he was told to leave the NBA around the time that his father got murdered because stories were about to come out, and there was a lot of heat on the fact that because of Michael's gambling habit, his father paid the price. And the NBA didn't want the press, so they asked him to leave for a while. That's when he went to play baseball. And then when things settled down, he came back. The plan was always, from what I was told, for him to come back. Now again, I heard this from a source I believe was pretty knowledgeable, somebody I knew pretty well inside the NBA. So for me, it's secondhand information, but I thought it was reliable. And then putting it all together, knowing that Michael did have this gambling issue, that is very possible that that could have happened.
So you're saying there's a strong possibility that his father was murdered because he wasn't paying back his gambling debts?
I don't know. Again, I can't be specific. I don't know if it wasn't paying back. I don't know what, again, the specifics of it were, but I was led to believe that it had something to do with his gambling problem.
Okay.
Exactly what, I don't know. And honestly, I didn't care enough to look into it.
So you heard there, right? He spoke about the conspiracy surrounding Jordan. It was discussed heavily. To this day, is still speculated on. To this day. To this very day. You got that. Now let's get to Kobe. Because these LeBron fans like to act like, oh my God, it's LeBron James and he's, why they all hate him? Oh my God, why do they hate LeBron? They all hate him. What's all of this hate for? Why do you hate my king? Look at his biceps. That's what they be saying. I want to play a sound from a very controversial interview that took place between Gayle King and Lisa Leslie shortly after Kobe Bryant passed. Lisa Leslie, LA Sparks great. They're talking about Kobe Bryant's life. And Gayle King brings up the art allegations. And she did not want to let it go. Even after the man's passing. And she was brutally destroyed for bringing something like this up right after Kobe Bryant passed. Take a listen to Gayle King here.
She was going to be in the WNBA.
It's been said that his legacy is complicated because of the sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time, Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, Lisa, go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Mm-hmm. Kobe's, he was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible. Mm-hmm. I just don't believe that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. Mm-hmm. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, the case it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify, so it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
We're not done with that. Okay, let's take it a step further. That was just the Gayle King aspect. I want to play a quick snippet. I don't know if we can, but I want to see if we can. I want to play a quick snippet of what Kobe Bryant said was the genesis of what created the Black Mamba and the scrutiny and negative coverage he was feeling from the NBA and NBA fans. Take a listen to Kobe Bryant here.
In 2003, I went from a person that was at the top of his game, had everything coming, to a year later having absolutely no idea where life is going, or if you're going to be able to even be a part of life as we all know it. I hear everything that the crowd is saying. I hear it. So it's like this place where it was my refuge is now being bombarded with all kinds of things that they would say. And I had to separate myself. Because going through that time, I felt like there's so many things coming at once. It was just becoming very, very confusing. I had to organize things. So I created the Black Mamba. So Kobe has to deal with these issues, and all the personal challenges. The Black Mamba steps on court and does what he does.
You heard what Kobe said, but it doesn't stop there because LeBron fans, only LeBron has been hurt, right? Kobe then, before his passing, got nominated for an Oscar, which caused a lot of controversy, to the point where people were trying to sign a petition against Kobe for the Oscars to remove his nomination because of that allegation case that was actually dropped. Let's read from an article called from a website called papermag.com. It says, more than 16,000 people signed a petition protesting Kobe Bryant's Oscar. More than 16,000 people have signed a petition online to take back Kobe Bryant's Oscar. The petition was created in late January and protests Bryant's Oscar nomination in the light of that accusation that he arred a 19-year-old in 2003. The allegation has put a permanent stain on Bryant's career for some, though many have seemed to have forgotten about it completely. 15 years ago, a Colorado teenage hotel employee filed. Okay, so y'all basically know the story. I just want to read a little bit of what some people said. It says, the incident was brought back into public memory after Bryant was nominated for Best Animated Short, which he won last night. The Oscars almost avoided nominating Sexual P for awards, the petition says. Woody Allen and James Franco didn't get anything, but Kobe Bryant, who was charged with the horrific blah, 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 although he won the case, but whatever, was nominated. Why is Bryant being honored for Best Animated Short if time really is up, right? So that's what people were saying. So people were actually petitioning. Like, I didn't even know this. And I'm a Kobe Bryant fan. I didn't even know that they had people signing petitions. So to listen to these jokers like the Channing Frys and all of these guys talking about, Jordan and they were fantasized, they were glorified, they were and then but only LeBron and woe is me, LeBron. Oh my God, hold on, let me get the honey. Let me get the honey. LeBron is just being dealt with. I don't like how LeBron is being dealt with. They never said this about Kobe. They never said this about Jordan. It's just LeBron. Look at his pecs. These guys are not serious. They are not serious, these people. And they think they can get it over their dumbass followers because they're the only ones that are getting it over. Only their followers believe this nonsense and this mumbo jumbo that they're spewing all over the desk. It's only them and the uninformed follower fans that they have. Because the rest of us who live in a reality, we already knew this was going on about Kobe and Michael Jordan. We already knew. So when we listen to these guys talk, it's like we know they should never be taken seriously. But nevertheless, have you noticed is the majority of these dudes that always come up here be twerking it up for LeBron? You notice they all have platforms? Do you notice you rarely see Jordan guys and Kobe guys with platforms? Have you noticed that? That's strange to you, Shaggy? Isn't it strange to you that all of these guys support one dude and they're all in media, but you can barely find any of the other guys? Doesn't that make you think, Shaggy? You think it's all coincidence? You think it's all coincidence, don't you? You're that gullible, aren't you? You really believe that it's all fair and balanced. Fair and balanced. You really believe that's what it is, right? Bless your heart. I got a bridge I got to sell to you. You're that gullible. You really believe it's a fair game. You really believe there are no dirty games being played in the background. You really believe that, don't you? Aw, look at you. You're so gullible. These guys all have a role to play. And the role is called who gonna twerk it up the best this week. For Shannon Fry and all these guys, it's laughable. Kobe and Jordan were never treated like this. It's only LeBron. Oh my God, LeBron. Get the honey. Look at his glutes. I rest my case.